Woo!
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, look at that! Look at that awesome background you got there. I think that's going to be a little bit of a hint of who our guest is for today. But I want to welcome everybody to another edition of Comics Cast. Let It Out on August 15th. And it's so hot here in Northern Virginia, D.C. I don't know how it is there in Denmark, Rick.
Well, with me, I'm always hot. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're always hot. You're always hot. Oops, I just realized we're giving away the show here by, let me hide that real quick. So anyway, I want to welcome you again to Comics Cast. Comics Cast, if you hadn't heard, we're all about promoting the indie creator. If you are an indie creator, we want you on the show. If you do pencils, inks, colors, story writing, anything that's in indie comics, we want to have you on the show so we can get eyes on you and help promote you. Let It Out is just one of the many shows we have here on Comics Cast, and it has a live drawing component and an interview with a special guest. So I would like us to pitch our YouTube page, and if my wonderful co-host here would have that ready to go. Does he have it? Does he have it?
Yes, I do. Hang on.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there it is. There it is. So we are trying to push YouTube as much as we can in 2021. So if you found us on Facebook, obviously it's Comics Cast, but on YouTube, it's Indie Comics Cast. You have to add INDIE Comics Cast in front of it and do a search for that on YouTube. And you can see, as Rick is demonstrating here, we have a plethora. We have a plethora of videos here. I still can't phase that word out. I think it's just an awesome word. So yes, check out our past episodes. There are episodes of Rick's awesome Mentor Block show, which has famously 2 limited edition episodes. We're going to try and get more of those later on in the future. You can also check out my partner in crime, Joe Tolliver's Inside the Indie Artist Studio. I don't know if that's the official name, but that's basically where it's a produced show, and we feature a artist, and you get to see them and produce some artwork, give some advice, and it's produced. It's really a short and sweet broadcast. I strongly encourage you to check it out. I think Joe's going to be dropping some new episodes later on this week, so definitely check out our YouTube page. We have a wonderful archive, a plethora of videos for you to check out, but you can also find us on Facebook as well. So please like and subscribe, and we would really appreciate that. So we have a very short and sweet show because we really want to get as much time into this because our guest has a limited timetable, but we're gonna milk it as much as possible because Rick is so excited, and I'm happy to say that this episode of Let It Out is going to be the first Let It Out where I'm going to take a back seat. I'm going to take a back seat. I'm going to let Rick, as he put in here, Rick the Prick. I think there's a story behind that.
That was my promoter name on the wrestling I did.
Yeah. So if you didn't know that, Rick is a wrestler. He's a wrestler.
Wrestling promoter. Yeah. It's 2 different things. I don't get chair shots as much.
Yes. So that being said, let's get the show on the road. Let's get our guest in here and as people know, I'll do this again because I need the music. As people know, wrestlers have intro music, so I have to do this right. Okay. All right.
Can you hear the music?
I can.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome our guest from the Mother Trucker universe, Andy the Animal Belanger!
Yeah, not bad.
Oh,
Not bad.
Not bad.
The posts are my trees and the ropes are my branches and the floor and the mat is where I hunt.
I was planning on going with from the middle of the wilds, but I thought the Mother Trucking universe was better.
Oh yeah, I my new thing lately in Quebec is I'm from the jungles of Magog, and of course there's no jungles in Quebec. This is some forest.
You could say the concrete jungles.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, I want to welcome you. This has been we were introduced by a mutual friend, Sam Noir, and it was right. We couldn't get you on the show while your Kickstarter was going on, but you didn't need really our help because you were funded. I mean, you were funded before we even started talking. And it is an honor, it is a privilege to have you on the show because I'm a recent fan, but I'm a diehard fan now. I need to get into the wrestling part of it because Rick,
Oh
Rick,
yeah, yeah.
Rick is gonna like he's gonna beat up on me more than he normally does because
Just wait,
he
I got.
knows that I'm not as well versed with wrestling. So it's gonna be an educational show for me because we're gonna for our audience we're gonna learn more about. Should we just call you the animal?
Everyone does now.
We'll call you the animal now because it's. I thought it was Andy Belanger because animal that the anger. I know, but it's French, so it's Belanger. Is that Belanger?
Yeah, Belanger.
Belanger, yes, right.
So I announced it. I didn't announce it correctly either.
It's okay.
Fine.
We have to start over.
Yeah.
Well, if we have the time, we got to keep on moving along. So that being said, let's move to the elevator pitch, which is basically where Andy, you get to tell us a little bit about yourself, talk about your art journey and how you got interested in wrestling, and then how that inspired Mother Trucker and up to the Kickstarter. And then, we'll go into the live drawing. But like I said, I'm going to be taking a back seat here. I'm going to let Rick, I'm just going to be showing some artwork while you're telling us a little bit about yourself. And then, of course, you can elaborate on any of the artwork as well. So the mic is officially in your hands, and let's start the elevator pitch. So here we go.
Cool. Yeah, there I am.
There you are. This is the alter ego.
Yeah, so that's the 2.0 version of Bob the Animal Anger in his new costume.
Oh.
Yeah, so I started training in Montreal, Quebec, pretty much with IWS from the beginning. They had they have a big hardcore show here, and I sort of was like the one of the first students they had at the school they opened up, and it was one of the first schools sort of like in Montreal that was happening at the time. So yeah, so that's the 2.0 version of the animal, and that you're looking at is a logo for our company, Lethal Comics. Kerry Nord and I started doing these fun logos, and he did one first, and then I did this one. So I kind of write and draw under my wrestling moniker for Lethal. I just thought it was kind of I thought it was more fun. So
it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Little Taskmaster.
Yeah. And as we're going through this, so like. Oh well, I'm gonna actually. I don't want to. I'm gonna.
I was just waiting for when am I actually allowed to take the front seat?
I'm shutting up.
Thank you. So, from what I can read from your Kickstarter, you decided to go be a wrestler in order to make your comic proper. Is that how it was? It's meant to be understood?
Yeah, almost.
So you decided to become a wrestler in order to make your comic?
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like a method actor would want to go and, become a sous chef because they play a chef in a film or something. It was the same kind of idea. So when I moved to Montreal, the indie scene in Montreal was gigantic.
Well, Montreal is one of the big wrestling scenes in.
That's right. So back in the 70s, we had Andre the Giant and the Rougeaus and all those guys. And then as it moved into a more modern era, the place and the people that I wrestle with at IWS were like Kevin Owens came out of there, Sami Zayn came out of there.
Nice.
I've wrestled many times against Uno and Stu from the Dark Order.
Oh, those are my favorites right now.
Matt Lee from 2.0 right now that just went into AEW, and Jeff. Matt Lee used to be my trainer.
Ooh.
So yeah, he was my trainer for about a year and a half, 2 years before he went to WWE.
You said a boot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, that's sort of like the wrestling journey, and it started me just going to shows and having fun with my friends, and having beers and yelling at indie wrestlers, and it was the most fun thing ever. And I started doing T-shirts and posters and stuff for the shows. And then I became friends with one of the wrestlers named Shane Hawk, who is a buddy of mine. We worked on WWE comics together. He's a pretty fantastic writer. And he basically, when they started the school, he was like, "Hey, I'm starting a school next month with PCP Crazy Manny, and why don't you come to the school? And you're a big guy, so and you love it, so why don't I get into it?" And I kind of got hooked. But I had done it under the guise that I wanted to learn all about wrestling to make like the best wrestling comic. And it took a number of years, like 4 or 5 years, before we got into it. But yeah, Mother Trucker is sort of the thing that I finally got to do because of COVID. You know, everything was shutting down, work was kind of falling off for a lot of people, and I got a really great animation gig with Behavior that allowed me to have enough money to actually spend the time to get into making Mother Trucker, and we kickstarted our first one, and it was quite successful. And then I just did the second issue. The first books are absolutely gorgeous. It's like really cool.
I absolutely loved that. You had the first one for free. I remember at some point for people to read digitally.
Yeah, actually, digitally, if you go to lethalcomics.com right now, you can read the first one for free. We have like a bit of a comic reader on there, and you can check out the first one.
Slight spoiler to people: it is rather mature. So if you want to say let your kids watch it, don't.
Yeah.
Just don't, because it is mature, and as you'll see later on when the Diablo comes to it.
Yeah, I don't have any like sex in my comics, but there is some nudity.
There's nudity and rather harsh language. But as I was saying, I've read it. Actually, had to read it a few times because I just completely love it, and I can sense the utter love for wrestling you put in it, because the wrestling move they do in the comic, you seem to really make sure that it's done correctly. You see there at the top, as we write, see the normally another artist would probably have not even done the whole arm on the shoulder to help him lift him up.
Yep.
But you do, because you've been there. You probably.
That's how that move works.
Yep.
Yeah.
People don't understand. They think it's the guy who's lifting and he is doing. It's like an incredible exertion to do a press slam.
Oh, for sure.
But they don't understand. There's the other guy is actually
He's
part
helping.
of the dance. Yeah, and there's a jump in and then a post up on the shoulder that really makes it work. But even the this is one of my wife's favorite drawings that I did. Even the body language on the press slam, people don't understand how that your body's meant to look when you're actually doing it. So it's that's really what I was going for in all these things. There's another one later on where Mother Trucker does a press slam, and then spins him around. And I even forget the name of the move, but I'm learning it in my training right now. It's like a cool move where you actually spin the guy out, and she puts him into like a backbreaker. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember. I think I've seen it before.
It was at the climax of issue 1. Yeah, she press slams the Bone Smuggler into a backbreaker.
No, I also think I've seen it in real life.
Yeah, no doubt. But that press slam there, there's a wrestler in Montreal called Frankie the Beast King, or he used to be Frankie the Mobster, and I was on a show festival weekend with him, and he's one of my good buddies, and he's a super bodybuilder, like he's gigantic, and I'm taller than he is, and probably maybe 20 pounds lighter, and he picked me up like paper, like I was paper to him, and so he would do the press slam, drop me down into the fall away slam, and it was absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Look at Jerry. He's just checking his tape because he just knows half these words.
I'm getting it, and I'm just like so wrapped up.
A follow slam is when you got them in the arms in front of you and then toss them backwards.
Yeah, and I think people just don't understand how much of a, like you mentioned, it's like a dance. You have to really know your partner, and they have to know you, so that you can execute. It's artistry, right? It's just artistry in the ring.
It's like acting. It is, even though I know it makes wrestlers crazy when people say, "Isn't it just acting?" Well, kind of, but there's acting to it, sure. But people get hurt if it doesn't. It's more like stunt. There's more stunt related to it, and you have to work together or else people can die.
Yeah,
it can be pretty dangerous.
And that's why it's called Lethal Comics, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, I absolutely love what you've done so far from the first comic. I love the coloring. Did you color it yourself as well?
No, I have a colorist in Mexico, a guy by the name of Tato Caballero. And Tato actually him and I started working together at Heavy Metal Magazine. So I was doing a comic for Megadeth called
Wow.
Rattlehead, and with the main guy Vic Rattlehead, and it was just a great comic written by Dan Fogler, who's a famous actor on Walking Dead, and he's in the Fantastic Beast movies.
Yep.
He's like one of the good guys, but he wrote the comic, and I've actually kept in touch with Dan the whole time too. He's a really great guy. But Tato, I would say I've had a few other good colorists. Lee Luridge was fantastic for me when I worked at Image. But when I first got together with Tato and I was giving him what I thought was my best work that I'd ever done in my life, he kind of like took my best work and like brought it up to an even higher level.
I have to say he's an excellent dance partner for you. I mean,
yeah.
really,
So
really cool stuff.
I'm married to Tato right now. I won't do a job if I can't use him as the colorist.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
that's nice. I mean, I remember that kind of workmanship has gone for many people.
Yeah, no, I'm very strict about it. I got to do the work with Tato. He's the best. So
What
me.
made you? Yeah. What made you say? What made you think to go to outer space with this one and not just make it a normal Earth wrestling show?
Because I wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very successful series at Image called Southern Cross that was all sci-fi, and I prefer creating my own worlds. You know what I mean? I'm not hot on like just making characters that live in our contemporary world. Like it doesn't excite me. People see it every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I much prefer science fiction where I can invent the world, or fantasy where I can invent
Where you
the
can
world.
basically do what you want.
Yeah. So the idea behind Mother Trucker is basically, they're all truckers in the universe, and the universe is wrestling. So not only is it used to ship goods all throughout the planets of the galaxy, but also it's the highest form of entertainment. So if you, let's say you are the champion of, Walmart, and I want your contract, I'll take my truck and ride up on you and challenge you, and our truck cargo units transform into rings, and we get in the ring and settle it in space.
I wish it was that easy to set
on the
up a
space
ring.
highways. Yeah. Well, it is in the
Nice.
future in my trucks. Yeah, it all does it by itself.
Oh.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah, anyone who has worked in wrestling knows that setting up rings is annoying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I have to say the art is incredible. I mean, I get to feel what Rick is, had to do. I'm taking a back seat and I'm just oogling over the art again. It's just so brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, look
And
at
you
the
work and the art itself with the colors work so well together. You really, I can understand why you won't let him go, because it just meshes so well together.
Yeah, it's kind of a powerhouse team.
Yeah, and even though it's fantasy, and even though it's sci-fi, you add a degree of realism. I mean, it's like I saw pictures on your Facebook page of these crazy trucks.
Yeah,
and they're real. Well, they don't go to outer space.
Yeah, Japanese Dectora trucks.
Yeah.
They're the wildest thing I've ever seen. I've been following Dectora stuff for like the same amount of time, like 7-8 years, like really into those trucks.
Yeah.
I'm dying to go to Japan to go to a truck show for those, but I'm trying to basically take like an amalgamation of all my favorite interests, and because I'm writing and drawing, I'm creating my own company, I'm creating my own books, I'm creating everything and going to Kickstarter. It's got to be the most me thing ever, and I love wrestling. It's a huge part of my life. I love trucks. I love 80s. I love He-Man. Like 80s He-Man was like my jam. That whole 80s feeling. So there was a documentary that came out called The Toys We Love that had an episode about He-Man. And I watch that thing like every 2-3 weeks because it gets me so excited about making Mother Trucker. Just designing worlds, designing toys, designing merch, designing like that universe. I'm trying to replicate that now. So, but with Mother Trucker.
We're gonna see Mother Trucker toys. That's what I'm saying.
Well, here's an announcement that we can make. That's happening.
Yes.
Announcements.
Yeah, I'm in the process of making a Mother Trucker LJN figure, so the rubber ones.
Wow.
So I talked to a bunch of guys about making the 3D modeling, and then the taking it to a 3D printer, and then to a guy that's specialized in Hamilton that actually makes the LJN figures, and then they get painted. So
Shoot, that is
Hot
awesome.
yeah, we're
damn.
gonna in Mother Trucker 3, we're gonna have a tier where you can get one of those figures.
Shoot. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Like when
Yeah.
you only do 20 or 30, they're not cheap. But like
Yeah.
at the same time, it's the coolest thing ever to have a Mother
Your
Trucker
own-
LJN.
Yes, that is so cool.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
Does it come with removable clothes?
Oh, I don't know. No, not the rubber one.
No.
Okay, Rick. All right. All right.
Hey,
I
we
could paint
want
one special for you.
we want people that the comic had nudity, so I might as well ask if the toys would have as well.
No, but I'll paint you a weird one. It'll
there
be fun.
you go. Just for Rick. Just for Rick.
Yeah.
I got that on camera now, Andy. You can't run away
Yeah,
from that
all right.
one.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
All right,
good.
Rick. If you're not going to ask the question, I'm going to ask the question about this. It's like, look at the who inspired you to like? I mean, your art style. You know, we showed some of the fan art earlier, but you know,
right before we
what
get
is
it, yeah. So
behind-
right before we get into this art style thing,
Yeah.
if you go to the page beside that,
the
this is a
pages
modified muscle buster from
Yeah.
right here.
Joe,
Samoa
Joe's move that got banned because
Oh,
he broke
he broke the neck of Tyson Kidd.
Oh.
Tyson Kidd's neck. So that's why I used it instead of the muscle buster. It's called the mother buster.
Oh.
And yeah, it's different because normally in a muscle buster you kick up your right leg
uh-huh.
and fall back, but Mother Trucker is almost doing it into a bridge. So yeah, it's a little modified. Also, you get into it from the top rope, and Mother Trucker is almost going at it like a fisherman suplex.
Man,
So
I'm
it's
totally.
No, I've
Yeah.
on the TNA Joe did it like this at some point, sometimes as well.
Yeah. And if you notice the first one, there's a kick, right? That kick
Yeah.
is called in wrestling is called a stop.
Oh, right here.
So
this kid.
if we're
Yeah.
gonna go at it, and normally it's a bit of a heel move, but baby faces could do it. If I come up to you and give you a kick, it means stop, reset, and I'm about to give you something. And that would have all been called. I can either call it to you on the spot, or normally it would have been called before the match. But that's where that's the in joke for wrestlers is like she stops her first and then goes into the
It
muscle
usually
buster.
sets one up for one of the major moves, like finishing moves or something like that.
Yeah. It's always like a quick, cheap thing, like Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Stunner always started with a stop.
Most power bombs starts with a stopper.
Yeah. So anyway, but art styles,
Yes.
I was always into monster comics.
Monster
So
songs. Okay.
yeah, when I was a kid, so things like Creature Commando and Tomb of Dracula, Buscema, that kind of stuff. So my early work was very much EC and monster comic inspired. Jack Davis was like a big influence for me. So all my early work when I broke into comics, specifically on Friday the 13th, looked like old EC horror comics. And everyone who saw those comics, they either loved it or hated it, because the people that hated it were like, "Oh, this isn't realistic." I was like, have you not seen horror comics from like the 30s to like the 70s? They all kind of look like this. And so I was being retro, and people were like, "Why does it look cartoony?" It's like, okay, you just don't know anything about horror comics.
I know they don't understand.
Yeah. So but then it grew, and I mean, my entire life I was very influenced by Heavy Metal magazine, specifically the reprints of Mobius and Serpieri and Manera are like gods to me. But like my all-time favorite artists that are my biggest influences that I look at every day are Mobius, Jack Kirby, and Otomo.
That's good choices.
Those three guys are the holy trinity. I look at their work every single day.
Your
and that's where the stuff comes from.
Your emotion is in your faces is just absolute amazing.
Yeah, I really try and capture the acting behind a face. It's never too crazy or too over the top. I try to make them look realistic for the situation. Yeah.
It's also your use of like heavy blacks and tones. It's just, the colors obviously for the book look really phenomenal. They bring it to another level. But I'm so impressed with your fan arts here too, because it's just, I've never seen the Fantastic Four portrayed like this. I mean, Look at Reed. I mean, he looks like
it's it's one of those things. Like I've worked in the mainstream industry most of my life, but I'd never really broken into Marvel and DC besides something like when I had a little bit of a turn on Swamp Thing. I had never really done like any of their
Oh, you did
superhero work.
Swamp Thing?
Yeah, I worked on Swamp Thing with Scott Snyder.
Damn.
And
Shit. I mean,
yeah,
we're like bowing down.
yeah,
That's
but yeah, but so anyway, the all these things were from 2019 when I finished up with TKO. Oh, this is Mia. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, baby.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Anyway, all of these samples were basically to try and get some gigs at Marvel and DC. And I was sending in samples monthly to every editor at the companies and just not getting anywhere. They had no interest in working with me. I don't know if I'm a little bit too alpha wrestling dude, but like, yeah, I know all the editors. I know all the people that run Marvel and DC, and just no one wanted to play. So it became very frustrating for me. And we had a lot of talks with in the family and stuff like that. We did some animation, but it was like, it's time to mother truck here. It's time to like
exactly.
Time to mother trucking go.
Yeah. And it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. I think it's the best work of my life. I had actually pitched Mother Trucker to Image and DC and a whole bunch of other companies. And as soon as you say wrestling to publishers, they have no interest. They're kind of like, oh, wrestling. And I was like, well, you don't know how I'm going to do it.
It's their loss. It's their loss.
Yeah, totally. But now, we've started our own company, and now Carl Kerschel's full on involved and on board, and Kerry Nord's full on board. So
Kerry Nord
now we have
himself. That's impressive.
Yeah. So we've got 3 powerhouses in our company, and Kickstarter is our business model, and it's super exciting. It's the most fun we've had. It's like going into the studios like a bunch of little kids now. Everyone's so excited. That's a Carl Kerschel cover. I love that one. It's so Capcom.
It is.
Yeah, it is. I was about to say this is one of my favorites. I'm a very big fan of the Udon Comics covers and the Inuyasha, so I saw that immediately.
Yeah, that's Kerry Nord.
A little censored here, but it's art, right? I mean, and it's like you said, it wasn't. It's not a. There's no sex. It's just nudity, and it adds to the character, And I think your storytelling, and and it's a variant cover. You don't have to get that cover.
But so that cover was funny because I asked Kerry for a certain kind of cover, right? A certain kind, but also painted because he's an absolutely amazing painter.
Oh yeah.
And instead he did something digital from like a weird angle that wasn't what I asked for. So I was like, dude, I hate to do this, but you gotta do it again. And he was like, and he's my best friend, so like it's okay, but also it's not okay. So then he comes back with that cover with her like with 2 middle fingers, and I pretty much took that as
that was a message to you.
That was like a straight up message to me for making him do it again.
Hey, but that cover, I think that's a poster. That was his original. That illustration you're talking about. That's a poster that was on the your Kickstarter, wasn't it?
The other one is
Worm's Eye View, where it's
yeah. So that's the one he handed in originally, and I was like, no. And so now it's a poster in the new one. Yeah.
Just so good. Just so good. Look at all this.
Funny. Yeah, those are all the posters that come with a comic, the first comic.
And
and then people could get originals. So I was like banging out originals as the campaign went on. So that was pretty fun.
Rick, are you seeing this? This is just
awesome. I'm absolutely watching this. I'm taking it all in. I'm looking, and I'm replying to comments, and I'm just everything. New comic, new question just came in. If you were thought about pushing your stuff to WWE about NXT, but you mentioned really quickly that you worked for WWE Comics, right?
Yes, yeah, I did some WWE Comics, yeah. So like my old trainer Matt Lee was in NXT, and I don't know whether WWE is pretty family friendly, so I don't know whether they would dig Mother Trucker, but I would love to one day pitch this all to The Rock. I think that would be amazing.
I think he'd love it. I think a man like even John Cena would love it.
Yeah, I want to get through like six 6 to 12 issues of it before I really start thinking. Like I've already had like Hollywood sort of like offers on stuff for Mother Trucker, but I basically said, it's not time yet. Like I have to put out 6 to 12 issues first before I want to entertain those ideas.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that's a few years away, but like I want to make sure that I have the whole thing out there and before I would sell something, because obviously if I do it now, it's they get it for cheap and it's small, but like if I can do it like in 6 to 12 issues, then I'll get more for it.
Yeah.
And if you've been reading anything in comics lately,
It's
creators
hot.
are a little mad about how much money movies make and how little they get. So yeah.
That's the big thing right now.
Yeah.
But
Smart
with
man.
all that being said, we are on the 30 minutes clock, and I
Yes, we
think
should get going because
it's
I'm
about
not always
time that
the fastest.
we push it further to our first drawing. We only got 2 today, guys, as mentioned, because we will be
Yeah, I have
done in
my
an hour's
daughter's
time.
I have my daughter's birthday party at 3 in the park.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So let's I want our audience. Hopefully, we'll get some audience participation here. Rick, I just wanted to pop this up so people you can continue your interviewing while we're drawing here. But this is who we're going to draw first. This is Mother Trucker.
I will add yours to the stream here. It's very lonely. It says lonely.
Oh, hang on a sec. I think I've dropped off the thing.
Okay. Yeah, this is our first one. She is the hero in the story, Mother Trucker, and it will be the first one we draw tonight. Well, it's night. It's evening here, so I can say tonight without being wrong.
You're in Denmark.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
I mean, it's not that crazy that people live in Denmark, but I get you.
Yeah. I think it's cool. And I think it's cool that you were running a wrestling promotion in Denmark. I think that's.
I am cool.
Yes. Super cool. Okay, can you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
See you out now.
There we go.
And Djerul is setting his up, and while he does that, let's say in 15 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and get started, and you can. Yeah. I'll get my cam up, and then go ahead and start drawing. And Rick, you go ahead and do it. Yep.
So here's the deal. I knew that I was going to be talking and drawing, which some days doesn't always go well when I'm focused on other things. So I actually started already, just so you guys can get going. But we'll draw together. But I'll take you through how I start drawing. This line here. Let's get a color. Oh. Obviously, this line here, right, is your spine or your action line you start with. And then I would get into the shoulders, but I'll often start with, once I get that sort of rough in my head and I can see the thing in my head, I'll get into the actual head of the person, because that's where all of the acting and attitude and everything happens, is in the head. And Mother Trucker has glasses, so it kind of makes a lot of things easy. But sometimes the angle of these Ray-Ban Wayfarers is difficult. So I actually have a few shots of it for reference. But as you get into it, this is how I build up. Now, everyone has different ways of drawing. Carrie in the studio works in tones. He has the figure in his head, and he works in tones, and then builds up the tones until he gets to the line art part of the drawing, which is really wacky. Carl in the studio would start this drawing. So here we go. So Carl would have started this drawing in the top left and drawn the hand, and then gone into the arm, into the shoulder, into the face, and he'll work from left to right completely. And it's a very, very bizarre way of working. And then clearly the way I work is it's almost like a house, like traditional way of building a drawing or a figure. I'll actually build it like a house. So I have to have the action line, the head, and then I'll move into, if you take art school, they'll start talking about stuff like sausages. You know what I mean? You start doing the You start adding your sausages, and because I've been drawing so long, I've been drawing since the age of 4 or 5. I was actually one of those weird guys, almost like a pro hockey player. I knew I wanted to be a comic book artist from the age of 5 or 6, and it never changed my whole life. I was always obsessed with it. And when you draw that much for that long, you develop shorthands or shortcuts as to the way you draw a hand, or you draw a head, or you draw a body. You just understand what you can do and what you like. And you can see sort of like what I'm doing right now is just showing you how fast I actually can go through a figure. All the steps and the moves that I make. There we go. So you would get the body. I get my figures and my body down actually like super quickly.
Oh my god, I've been muted this whole time.
So, and then I'm taking it back old school here, boys, with my comics, because that's what I liked when I was a kid.
And it's working.
And
after
yeah,
all.
and I like powerful heroes, powerful female heroes. I love Ripley from Alien. I think she's like the coolest. But I also love Arnold Schwarzenegger from whatever. So from Terminator and Conan. So for me, yeah, I'm kind of like combining Arnold and Ripley with Mother Trucker. And actually, if you guys watch wrestling, there's a wrestler named Kimberly Brickhouse that is the NWA World's female champion. She's basically Mother Trucker.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So if I ever need like a reference shot sometimes for a character, I'll just look up some Kimberly Brickhouse, and it's like, okay, there's Mother Trucker right there.
She's massive.
Tall, she's built, but also, has like, she's also really beautiful and has all the, amazing, very 90s comic things. So that's sort of what I was looking at for Mother Trucker.
When I could easily see her, and when Jade Cargill gets a little more wrestling experience under her belt, those two could have some good matches, because they're both big and they're both amazingly strong.
Yeah. So Jade Cargill was the inspiration for one of the new wrestlers named Tina Torque in Mother Trucker 2. Basically, I kind of just check out pics of Jade. She's unreal. When she gets really good, it's going to be bananas. Anyway, because I already did some quick drawing of this guy, because I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of time, I'm just going to get it right into some black ink work on here. Whoops. And
while you do that, I got some wrestling questions for you.
Whatever you like.
So everybody that I know have something they call their Rushmores of wrestlers. And do you have your own particular version of your Mount Rushmore?
Oh, the Mount. So I gave you my Mount Rushmore of comic creators earlier.
Yeah.
You mean the guys that like are my favorite or influenced me most? That sort of thing.
From all time.
Yeah, if you were asking me like who my favorite wrestlers of all time was, easily I think my favorite wrestler of all time was Macho Man.
Oh yeah.
As a total package of wrestling ability, looks, promos, his character, he kind of is like the embodiment. I would say that Mother Trucker is very Macho Man-esque. People forget what a heel he was. But then also with Macho Man, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of comic conventions, and as you would, being 20 years in this thing. And I was in a comic convention right before COVID hit in, I believe it was St. Louis, or Louisville. And at that convention, they had a lot of wrestlers there. And I got to meet and kind of hang out in the green room with Batista.
Well, nice.
Yeah. And then I was getting up to get some food because I was sitting with him. And when I was going to the thing, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was standing right there. And he's an older guy, and he's not very tall now, and he's not as built as he was, and he's got like pure white hair. But I will go to these conventions, and I will talk to pretty much any celebrity. Like, I don't have a lot of shame, but I was literally nervous about going to talk to
Yeah,
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
I
Like,
can imagine.
I actually felt like you get like butterflies. I was like, oh man, I gotta go talk to this guy. But also, I have no idea what I'm gonna say to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Besides, I love.
Gonna
Besides,
start out.
yeah.
Gonna
Besides, I
start
love
out.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah,
Become
exactly.
a giggling 6-year-old girl.
Yeah, exactly. I love, I love Jushin Thunder Liger is one of my all-time favorites. Like, obviously the animal is very based, I think, on Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah.
gosh, who else?
That's free.
Yeah, it's those three guys are sort of like my all-time favorites. Like, obviously when I was a kid I loved Taker. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I love the Undertaker. Wrestling
We also
ability
have to.
though, wrestling moves and wrestling ability, I watch pretty much mostly Japanese wrestling now. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I've gotten more into that as well.
yeah, I have
Like,
a subscription, and you know, um I was loving Shingo like a year and a half, 2 years before he was a champ even. He was sort of like my guy.
oh,
And
nice.
so I love Shingo, and I love a lot of the Japanese New Japan stuff right now as far as wrestling goes. But yeah, I would say like my all-time favorites are Macho Man, Steamboat, Liger, and I love Taker. But as a like a as a fan, those were like easily my favorites.
Mm.
Um, who I look at for wrestling is a lot of Japanese guys, but it's hard not to look at Ric Flair.
I
And
was about to say, well,
yeah,
I'm surprised you haven't talked about him yet.
yeah. I
He's
have a
he's on my mountain.
Yeah, Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon's matches were some of the
Absolutely.
craziest thing ever. Tiger Mask and um, uh, the Dynamite Kid, those matches from Japan were some of the craziest things. Like, those are, matches that I watch to make notes on.
They still hold up to this day and
Oh
age.
my God, I really feel like Tiger Mask and Dynamite Kid were the blueprint for what wrestling is today, right now.
Yeah, for sure.
In the
For sure.
indies and all the rest of it. That's the blueprint for wrestling right now.
I see that. I
Yeah,
see that.
it's pretty phenomenal.
I must admit myself, I'm not a big fan of the high flying parts of wrestling when it's overdone. I'm more of a technical fan, which
Yeah.
is also why Ric Flair and Kurt Angle is on my mountain.
Oh, Kurt Angle's so good. It's
Yeah,
hard. Like, see, like, you can. There's just like wrestling has so many different parts to it. You have your high flyers. Like, I'm the same way. I'm not like over the moon about all the high flying, especially considering like I can't do a lot of it.
I'm sure you could if you tried.
I do some. I have a splash, right? Like, if there's a guy that's over 250 or 260, it's very hard to get him into a lot of my moves, right?
Mm.
Like, I do a lot of, Death Valley drivers, and I have a spinning pump handle Blue Thunder Bomb.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so some of those things are a little bit hard if the guy's like at a certain weight, because, let's say I get banged up a little bit, and then you with a bunch of bumps, and then I got to go into my finishers. Sometimes it's hard if the guy's a lot heavier. So if they're really big, like, like there's a bodybuilder in Montreal by the name of Max Lemire that goes by Max Testosterone. I can't lift him. He must weigh like
He's like
320.
he's
So
like a Brian Cage kind of animal.
yeah, he's like a Brian Cage. So I have to like adjust my moves. So I'll do missile drop kicks. I'll do. I have a move that's like a top rope line, like Kane. I call it the
Yeah.
animal hammer. I do that a lot. And then if I have a big guy that I don't think I can get into my finishers without maybe botching it,
Mm.
I'll actually just give them like a gigantic splash. And for me, like being 6'2", like it's sometimes a 6'2" guy, when they do a splash, it doesn't always look great. Like I just watched Christian versus Kenny Omega, and
Yeah,
Christian's splash, I was like, I felt like he
Christian's
could have worked on that splash a little
Christian's
better.
frog splash has always looked bad,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah,
It's always looked
exactly.
bad. But
Yeah.
he's been trying it since his TNA days, but it always looked bad.
Well, I think it's because he's tall, so he's not telling his opponent to be far enough away. Right?
Yeah,
Like because he's such a tall guy, I think his opponent needs to almost be on the other side of the ring for that to look like a
but
very
can
impressive.
Christian jump that far? Is my question with all his leg issues.
Oh yeah, well maybe that's a thing too. So anyway, that's when I'll do a splash, but yeah. Oh man,
I
wrestling's the best. Wrestling's so much fun.
Also another one of my on my mountain is who's actually both a high flyer and a technical wrestler is Chris Jericho, who's still
Oh
going
yes, of
and
course.
still one of
Yeah.
in my opinion, after he came to AEW, shows that hey, his best days are still around. He's still
Yeah,
wrestling. He's still wrestling as if he was 15 years older, in my opinion.
and Jericho has to be one of my all-time favorite wrestlers too. Like he's totally up there.
He has everything. He has everything a wrestler should have, like charisma and his ability to change when he gets bored with his character and all that.
I think the off-the-cuff stuff that he would do at WWE was just so gold. I don't think they got him wrestling to the degree that obviously he could, considering right when he quit WWE, he went to New Japan and had some of the craziest matches of his career.
I love those.
You must have been. I was like, okay, so WWE just wasn't using Jericho to the degree that he can. His match against Kenny Omega when
his
he
first match, yeah,
when he put Red Shoes' son in the walls of Jericho in front of Red Shoes after he had knocked him down, and then that must have been like the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Oh, he grabbed his son and like walls of Jericho'd his son in front of his dad while Kenny Omega was like out cold somewhere else. Like that was amazing.
He's such a great heel, which is a bad guy, Gerald.
Yeah, but the other thing about Jericho was, who was that really weird? Like WWE always does this silly stuff. Sometimes they had a character that they basically just made fun of, and he didn't have a chin. What was his name? It was from a few years ago with Jericho and Kevin Owens.
Styles as well.
Yeah, the line. He wasn't really a wrestler. He was more like some sort of like.
He actually have done wrestling before.
But he was a wrestler. I forget the name of the guy. But
I got it. Is it something with James Ellsworth?
Ellsworth, yeah. So there was a great promo where it was like the Shield on one side and Jericho and Kevin Owens and someone and two other guys on the other side, and Ellsworth kind of like comes up the back to come in the ring, and Jericho just goes. What does he say? Attention, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lost child in aisle 3.
Yeah.
I was like,
so
off the cuff, that was the funniest thing I had ever heard on WWE.
The funniest thing with
brilliant.
The funniest off the cuff, I think, is when a fan yells at him at some point, "Go back to Montreal." Where Jericho just replies, "I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot."
It's from Winnipeg. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. And of course, who are some of the other Winnipeg guys? You have Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember correctly, but I feel like Roddy Piper.
Was he?
Yeah, he's I think he's a Winnipeg guy as well. He's Canadian. I think Winnipeg's produced some really great wrestlers.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he was from Saskatoon.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I guess that's nearby or something.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, it's all the prairies out there.
Yeah. So, but Canada has been really big. We can't say Canada without mentioning the Hart family as either.
Yeah, the Hart family.
The Hart Dungeon.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I'm training with a wrestler right now by the name of Speedball Mike Bailey, who got stuck here in COVID. And he's got to be one of the best wrestlers in the world, but he's unsigned. And, any day he's going to get called up for stuff. but I got to work with him a long time, and he's very much against the stomp. Like when you punch and stomp your foot, like he'll give me crap for it all the time. But I'll go back and watch a Bret the Hitman Hart match, and Bret's like the king of the stomp. Like no one stomps harder than Bret the Hitman Hart. He's the king of the stomp. Yeah. And obviously The Rock and Stone Cold were big stompers.
I think The Rock made it too obvious though.
Yeah, I think so too. Like a big stomp, and he slaps your neck. Like he doesn't even look like he's punching. But he's still still great. You know,
he was overacting, but he was still a great wrestler, a great performer.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
The Rock is Dwayne Johnson, the actor. Gerald,
yeah, I got that. I got that reference. That's my Captain America thing. I got that reference. I'm learning.
Yeah. Actually, for my money, I think Batista is the best actor out of all of the wrestlers that have ever gone wrestler to acting. I think he's the most talented.
I have to admit, John Cena is up there.
Oh, I can't get on the Cena train as hard, but
I wasn't really a fan of his wrestling in the end, and character and all that. But his acting has become better. But I think Batista, and we're hopefully not gonna fight over this, but I think Batista's roles are basically a lot the same, like very generic tough guy.
I don't know. There's just something about him. I can feel like he's been through stuff. I can feel the drama in him.
Yeah. You've seen his documentary that WWE made, right?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, he actually talks about
like his
all
past.
The crap he's actually gone through.
Yeah, I think that's what makes him a better actor. He has he can tap into some emotions that I don't know that Cena can. I don't know that I really feel like a great actor is someone that's gone through some really crazy hardships in their life and know how to like tap into those emotions, and it comes across on screen. Like he might have just been a tough guy. It was a small
two more minutes of this one.
2 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
I got time for like doing outlines, I think here. That's about it.
But I got a little story here before I forget about Gerald. How little wrestling knowledge he knows, because when we were first talking about you like a few weeks ago, and we talked about wrestling names, and he should Gerald wanted to be introduced as a wrestler if we went that way. He wanted to say, well, my real name is Ramon, and I wanted my wrestling name to be kind of edgy, so I was thinking something with Razor and Ramon.
Oh, give me a break! He didn't know that Razor.
No, he didn't. Wrestler. And I looked. I just looked at him, and
all right.
That's one of the most well-known wrestlers in the world. New World Order, Scott Hall. I mean, and he was just Razor Ramon.
No.
Are you telling me you'd never heard of Razor Ramon?
Let me get this. I said, because I'm an artist. I said Eraser Ramon, and he heard.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. He's lying, and he's trying to save his own plot.
Eraser Ramon. That's pretty good, actually.
Eraser Ramon is funny though, but he didn't say that.
That's good.
Yeah, that's gonna be my wrestling name. I'm gonna be Eraser Ramon. So
cool.
Because I'm an artist who never gets things right, so I'm always erasing.
What's funny is once you go digital, right, and you do the double tap on the iPad, I'll be doing a commission for someone at a show or like on paper, and I'll make a mistake and I'll start double tapping the paper. And I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work.
That's sometimes I try to zoom out on the normal paper.
Yeah, exactly. The double finger zoom out.
And then I look around, making sure no one saw that, because that was just too stupid.
That's funny.
But yeah, pencils down, guys.
Pencils down. Okay.
Yeah.
I just realized how hard it is to draw wrestling moves. I didn't even I did a stance. I didn't actually do any type of crazy things. Oh my gosh, it's like I'm so. I told this.
Well,
to
well,
yeah,
I'm not to take anything away from him, but he did cheat a little.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh no, but he can draw this.
He did the heel move and started
Yeah.
in advance.
But I was doing something where I was like trying to show you how I get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
the
I love
thing.
that. You're actually one of the first that's done that, and I really always love seeing that. It's always good.
Yeah, I think it's important.
It looks great. It looks great. I'm gonna have to go back and watch you actually do this because that's what it is with all the guests. Like when I'm drawing along, I can't see the magic happen. So
Yeah,
I'll have to
it's
go
tough.
back and watch it.
I'm always terrible at talking and drawing at the same time. I get too I get slow. Happens. Okay, so you had a little contest next.
Let's see Jowls as well.
Oh, cool.
I don't see anyone in Artio right now that's put anything up, but hopefully it will be later. There'll be someone later. But this is Jowls.
Excellent.
She's like looking down on a vanquished opponent.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
We actually just got one here from. Hang on. From Victor Rufino.
Oh, nice!
Oh, look at that! That
Sick.
looks awesome.
I love the addition of one color just to make it pop even more.
Yeah,
Victor Rufino is one of my favorite artists.
Yeah,
so
He's really good.
Yeah, it looks like you got a fan from the Philippines.
Amazing, right on.
Yeah, he stayed up. I think it's like 2 a.m. in the Philippines. So he stayed up. I talked to him earlier, and I said, "You gotta watch the show. Our guest is going to be phenomenal." So, all right, so let's keep on moving. Let's, Rick, so we were going to draw another OC, but since we have a limited amount of time, I wanted Rick to get his due.
I'll also say thank you, Andy, for choosing that. You were giving the choice of which one to get. So I'm glad that's mine, because I got something different and special. Oh, see, even Victor knows wrestling. My favorite moment was his match with Jake the Snake Roberts. They had some good matches.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, anyways, here we go. As you can see, there's a wheel here with a few numbers. Every number has a different wrestling theme song.
Okay.
For you, Gerald, those wrestlers are pretty well known for people. For wrestling fans.
Okay.
And for you, Andy, these numbers are equal to Scandinavian wrestlers.
I don't know that I'm going to remember a lot of Scandinavian wrestlers.
No. That's the point. That's what makes it fun. So I'll play the music, and you'll have to draw the wrestler that you feel would come out to that kind of.
I have to draw them.
Music. Yeah, that's the challenge.
Oh man.
I think we should have done the Bone Smuggler. I think
that would have been easy.
Okay.
Well, are you still up for it?
Oh,
I will also be kind and give you the wrestler's wrestling name.
Okay, we'll see if I recognize them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, are you gonna spin?
Yeah, let's see. First, Jowl.
I got number 2.
Okay, let's see if you can hear this music.
I hear clapping.
Hang on, I'm not playing anything yet.
Okay.
Oh man, I know this.
Sounds very disco-y.
Oh man.
Yep. I will also give you the name of the wrestler. He's called Dude Love.
Oh, of course.
Dude Love. I have no idea who that is, but I will draw.
Okay, when did Dude Love become Scandinavian?
No. This was for Jowl only.
Oh,
This is yours.
Oh, okay, I get it. So he got Dude Love. Man, why couldn't I get Dude Love? That was easy.
Okay, number 5. Here we go.
Okay, who is it? Who is it?
And the wrestler is a really close and dear friend of mine as well, from DPW. He's called Big D.
Oh, I don't know that guy. I can't draw that guy. You gotta give me one I know. Do I have to
Well,
Google him?
No, you have to draw what you think he would look like. That's the fun part of the challenge.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, well,
man.
Okay. Is the clock ticking now? I guess so.
Let's say 15
I don't know what
minutes.
this guy looks like at all. I'm just.
No, that's the point. That's the funny part. What did you get from the music and the name?
Oh man, let me hear the music again.
Yeah.
Okay.
All my shackles are broken now.
Okay. Okay.
All my hands are tied.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And he's a heel, if that helps anything.
Well.
And he's like,
No,
well.
And Johnny I knew we was gonna have a chant like this. Johnny Cage with the CM Punk chants. Joel, your art cam is out.
Okay.
Let me see here. No. Bigger.
I know. I was afraid. I was afraid when I put this up that it was going to be hard. But then again, the fun part is just to make what comes to mind when you see it and when you listen to it. I'm pretty sure Joel
I have no clue. I have no clue.
Have no clue.
Oh man, like I could have done his easily.
Yeah, but that's the fun part, right? That
yeah,
you make up how you perceive from the music and the name.
Okay.
All right. So the guy his name is Dude Love. Is that right? Dude
Do you want to listen to the music again, or are you fine?
I'm just gonna make up something because I have no idea. But so is Dude Love like a popular wrestler or?
Yeah. I will tell more about him when because if I tell too much, you might suddenly remember who he actually is behind the name.
Okay.
Okay, so Big D is like very much a kickboxing kind of guy. He's arrogant and just shitty to people. I've had his crotch in my face many times.
That's the most fun.
Yeah. No, guys, you're not allowed to spoil who it is in the chat.
Well, I'm not looking at the chat anyway.
No, and Johnny, he didn't even know who Razor Ramon is. So
oh, see, there you go.
He doesn't know. Your ultimate, Andy, your ultimate favorite theme song that was made specific for a wrestler. Do you have one?
Oh, do I have a favorite theme song that was made specifically for a wrestler?
Yeah.
I'm really like. I think Shinsuke Nakamura's theme song is like one of the most badass things of all time.
The old one or the one with the band and the singing?
The one, no, the first one when he came out, when he had who was her name? The guitarist came out with him.
Oh yeah.
The blonde guitarist.
Yeah, I can't remember her, but I got her on my Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not as into the singing one, but that one I was just like, oh my god, this song is amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most iconic wrestling songs of all time. Next to like, if you think of like who has the most iconic wrestling tunes, I mean, is it Hogan? Is it Shinsuke? Did you know that
Hogan's theme song made directly for him, Real American though?
I think Real American was, yeah, because before that he was coming out to Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they realized that with all the rights and everything, they were going to have to get into a scenario where they made their own music, or else they'd get sued and stuff. So, yeah, so it's kind of like, I think Shinsuke's is my favorite that I've heard out of that era of where they made music for people. It's just phenomenal.
I agree completely. I was gonna say Shinsuke Nakamura as well as one of my first ones, and then Kenny Omega's, the one he uses now is made for him.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, it's okay. It's I think that's second or third place for me.
What do you
Yeah.
come
I
out
mean,
to?
Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold. When you hear glass breaking, you're
Yeah,
just like immediately like if you
you
hear glass
know,
breaking anywhere, you're just like it's
you know
Stone
what's
Cold.
going on. What's going to happen for sure. Okay, what about themes in general? Like overall themes that's also like
I
others
love
are people
The
from.
Jake the Snake's theme. Jake the
Yeah,
Snake's Roberts theme was really dope, very like Miami Vice sounding. I thought it was like really great.
I like. I must admit my favorite, even though he's also that he's still around, is actually Edges. The You
Oh
Think You
yeah,
Know
yeah,
Me, and then the also bridge Metalinkas. It's Yeah, Johnny Cage here is he's a line in he's the line in the Saint Evolutions theme song kind of guy.
oh
I
yeah,
see that. That's not a bad one either. Not a bad choice. I mean, it could
yeah.
be better, but it's not bad.
Theme songs are so important.
Yeah.
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 What is your theme song?
Well, I had a theme song by a guy named Hudson Mohawk.
That's the
So it was
Mohawk.
very like sort of like electronic. Yeah, he's like a I don't know what you kind of even call his music. It's not EDM, but it's like he was a DJ that also made music. Kanye West ended up using a bunch of his music, and Hudson actually sued him because he didn't pay him. Yeah, so I came out to his stuff, but now I've been training with Speedball, and I'm going to be quite the sort of baby face when we return, which is on September 4th, and I'm going to start using the theme song from The Last Dragon.
Oh yeah, that's the one I played at first as well.
Yeah, I'm going to use
Are you gonna start it at that really low, or are you gonna start it like further in when there's more music in it?
No, I'm gonna start at the beginning with that intro. I think it's like very much like it'll feel like a movie. You know what I mean when I come out. And I took martial arts my whole life, but I've never incorporated it into my wrestling until now. So
Ooh.
before I used to be wrestling boots, like the expensive, $400 wrestling boots that are made for you specific, because
Mhm.
it's a treat as a wrestler to get custom boots made and to have that look. I think is really great. But now I'm into the kick pads and I'm actually using my kicks and so I'm coming back with a lot more martial arts. So I'm gonna actually I want to have a little bit more of a martial artsy kind of like sound and theme when I come back. I'm gonna be doing a lot of kicks.
That
So,
also that speak of kicks, that's what Big D is known for, by the way.
I don't know that I'm drawing a kicker here.
He doesn't look like a kicker either. So you do
Yeah.
it so far. So far, you're actually doing a really good job. Without saying too much, and I'm curious about how. Oh my God! Yes, yes,
Wait a second, is that your dude love?
yes.
yeah.
Okay, that's hilarious.
That's fantastic.
That's hilarious.
So let's talk about your costume. Your costume that we showed at the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How do you-
Yeah, so I had so many ideas for characters when I was getting into wrestling, and the name Animal came from Shane Hawk, and it was because when I first started, I was so out of shape, which pretty much everyone is when they start wrestling, because being a wrestler, your body needs to be in like this crazy amount of good shape, and it's not until you become very experienced that you understand when you can take breaks inside a match that don't murder you. So to get into a lot of things like up and overs and doing billy guns in the ring, a lot of that stuff, I would scream to get into it. You know what I mean? I would like, if you're okay, now we're all gonna shit can each other, whereas you just get thrown out of the ring. onto the floor, which is quite frightening if you don't know how to do it properly. And I always used to like kind of like scream when I would like get into this stuff to get myself like excited and so and like motivated. So Shane Hawk started calling me the animal, and I was like, I can make a character out of this. So I was kind of looking at all the iterations of the animal that have been in wrestling. So there was George the Animal Steel. There was Animal from the Road Warriors, my favorite tag team of all time.
I recognize
Dave Batista was called the Animal.
Yeah.
And then I obviously was in love with Jushin Thunder Liger. So I went with some sort of like Jushin Thunder Liger-esque version of my animal. Was sort of like what I was going for.
I love that. That's really great. 10 more minutes, guys.
10 more minutes. Okay.
No. Sorry, 5 more minutes.
5
10 minutes is in. 10 minutes has gone.
Okay. We're moving right along though. That's good because we can still get Andy to his daughter's birthday party in time.
Yeah.
Yep. So, to speak a little about DPW, Danish Pro Wrestling, we've actually had some really big names come and play for us, so to speak.
Did Speedball ever come wrestle
No,
with
not
you guys?
not Speedball. Maybe he came to Body Slam, which is
he did a lot of European stuff. Like traveling around.
His name does ring a bell.
Yeah, he did a lot of European wrestling, so I know that.
But
for
yeah,
sure.
we've had wrestlers like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, crazy!
And what's his name right now? The Indian,
Jinder?
Tatanka.
Oh, Tatanka.
Yeah.
Drew
McIntyre and Eric Young before they joined back to join WWE. Both of them, they were in DPW, having
cool.
a few matches. Drew McIntyre was actually our champion until I chair shotted him and he lost it.
Until what?
Until someone chair shotted him.
Shot at him with a gun?
No, chair shot.
Oh, a chair shot.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
During a match, I'll say someone did behind the referee's back, not the promoter.
I've taken so many chair shots, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was actually going to ask you that. How many chair shots have you taken?
Oh no, I don't even know how many chairs. I've been hit with a million chairs, and like there's always different kinds of chairs, and I always find like if you ever like decide to like do a match and let's say it's as part of a school, right? Like you're always gonna get some old chair from the 70s that's made out of like crazy metal. And it hurts to the point of ridiculousness. You're like, where did you find this chair? It's the worst. But then sometimes you get the plastic ones, and you're like, oh yeah, you can hit me with that.
Yeah, the plastic ones. I've taken a few chair shots. I've never been a wrestler. I've been a promoter,
but promoters get beat up.
Yeah, promoters get beat up. But
I'm not feeling this belt.
A cane is the cane, the Japanese is cane. That hurts way worse than.
Oh, you do mean the kendo sticks, the swords?
Yeah, the kendo sticks. Yeah.
Oh, they hurt a lot. Yeah.
They hurt so much worse than a chair shot.
I've gotten a bunch of them. Yeah, a kendo stick is the worst.
The worst thing I've ever seen happen that I'm glad I wasn't a part of, but I was commentating, so I was at the table just beside it, was a wrestler being thrown through a flaming table.
Oh, I've seen that. And
he was literally set on fire after because he had baby oil on him.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
Wow.
The smell of bacon afterwards was just ugh.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of thumbtack matches. I've never been in one.
Oh.
But the worst thing that I've ever had, and apparently it's worse than thumbtacks, is Lego.
I was about to say that's a Danish specialty.
Yeah, the Lego match is like when if someone's like, hey, you want to have a Lego match? It's like no. No.
Because the thumbtacks, they're so small and easy bendable, so the chances
Yeah.
that they don't get into your skin that far.
Yeah. No, but just the pain of Lego.
Yeah.
It's not cool. It's not
You
cool.
ever stepped? You ever stepped on a Lego Jarl? Sure, you have.
Yeah.
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 Try and get
Your whole body.
That's
try and get thrown your whole body into them.
yeah. That's like the bane of all. I guess you're gonna get your daughter Legos for her birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Nope.
Oh,
I
man.
saw someone get superplexed from the top rope.
On the Lego.
Into Lego. Yeah. He couldn't walk after.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. The worst
And he was supposed to win the match, but he just couldn't.
Yeah. The worst bump I ever had was I did a like a dive, like a flip dive, forwards off the top rope, and my brothers were involved in the match. I have 4 brothers, and 3 of them were there, and they were in masks, and they were part of my crew. And I told them what to do, and they didn't listen, and they grabbed my opponent and pulled him out of the way, and I pretty much did like a back plant onto the cement. I managed to break the fall with my elbow hitting a chair a little bit. But yeah, I pretty much landed on my back on cement from the top rope.
Wait, you broke your fall with your elbow?
Yeah, I broke the fall with my elbow on a chair.
Did you break your
but
elbow?
I mean, it wasn't much of a break of a fall. Like
Yeah.
not enough. Yeah, it was enough to like probably not kill me, which it like could have been really bad. But I remember I was really sore after that. Like for the rest of the night, I was pretty rough.
With that story being said, I have to say the 15 minutes up.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So let's start with Geralt.
With mine.
Yeah, because that's the one most people will remember, and the funny. So this is your take on Dude Love.
Well, yeah, I figured I gave him a pompadour, a unibrow, and Nick gave him some puckered lips and tattoos. So he has like a heart-shaped tattoo on his heart, and then he has a peace belt. So I figured Dude Love, I don't know, peace and love. I have no idea who this guy is.
I mean, the basic idea is right. And
yeah, you got the peace thing. The peace thing was right on.
I got right.
That's what I was laughing about.
Are you ready to see him?
Yeah, let's see him. Oh, I totally missed the mark.
This is Dude Love. He actually also has 2 other personas called Mankind and Cactus Jack, and his wrestler, and his real name is Mick Foley.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's considered one of the most hardcore wrestlers in ever.
I have photos with him if you go on my Instagram. I've
seen it.
I've been in a few comic book panels with Mick Foley.
Oh.
He's awesome. He's such a sweetheart.
I think you're gonna have to do a Dude Love cameo.
So let's watch Andy the Animal here.
Yeah.
His Big D.
Yeah, there's my.
I love that. I love that so much.
You know what, Rick?
I gave him like a little Ox Baker.
You're actually not far away from.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, Rick.
Because as you can,
it looks like Ed Foychuk.
Yeah, it also looks like Ed Foychuk, yeah. But okay, I got a few pictures because I didn't. Here is one. Here he is with Drew McIntyre. He's on the left here.
Oh.
Oh, cool! Look how tall Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew is he's a beast.
Huge.
And here he is on the left again.
Oh man, I was about to make him bald.
You see his head, but he usually got the hair. So
yeah.
But the buffness you got right.
Oh man, I just need to get rid of this mustache.
Yeah, here he is. This guy on the left is called Chaos. He's probably the most well-known wrestler in Denmark. He's been in Europe, wrestling in all over Europe as well. Been champion many times.
Oh,
and
awesome.
he's also the one that got thrown through the flaming table.
Yeah.
By my friend here, Big D.
That's so good.
It was so bad, so smelly.
Cool.
So yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So did anybody draw along with us, Rick?
I will check while we head towards the finish line here.
Okay, yeah, because we're gonna let Andy's gonna have to get jet pretty soon, so we need to like get through this real quick.
Yeah, we'll get chatting here.
But Andy, that looked phenomenal. You're seeing you draw live. Well, I didn't get to see you draw live, but I got to see the finished products. So those were just phenomenal pieces of artwork. And it's just it's been a treat, like I said. That I'm gonna have to go back and watch the video so I can see all this stuff happen in real time, or actually not in real time, on demand. Yeah. So.
That's you both did really good. I hope my challenge was fun, even though it might have been a little
so
hard
difficult.
to understand at first. I just like the idea of being creative.
It's great. It's
my
fantastic.
challenges are all about being creative, and you guys did good. I can actually see the Dude Love Jericho made in a video game for some reason.
Oh yeah, totally.
It'd be a muscle video game.
A Sonic enemy of Sonic, some kind.
Right. All right. Well, I guess if hopefully if anybody wants to did draw along, let us know.
Victor didn't draw along, but he did put up a wrestling piece he did some time ago.
Okay,
I guess just let us. We might as well just see that.
Oh wow!
Right here.
Oh, I love that.
Who did this?
There's a steamboat in the bottom.
There's a steamboat. There's a Hulk Hogan, and there's what's he called to the left there? That King Kong Bundy, Ultimate Warrior. I don't recognize the two around Hogan though.
Is that not Rick Martel? I'm thinking of Ravishing Rick Rude. On the right. With the mullet?
No, he doesn't have the beard. He doesn't have the mustache though.
Oh.
Wait.
Oh, I guess he'll tell us.
Who did this artwork?
Victor did.
Oh, Victor.
Oh, Bruce's beefcake.
Oh, beefcake. Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see that now. But I don't get who the guy in the hood is. Anyways, that was what was there right here and right now.
Yeah. Well, that looks. I had a good time. I got educated. I didn't know anything about Razor Ramon because it was Razor Ramon. But I got to hear about everything from heel stomps to Lego torture and flaming tables and the smell of bacon in the morning. I don't know, but there's just I was enjoying listening.
I did not eat bacon for 2 months after that because it just reminded me.
I have never gone through a flaming table, but I've gone through plenty of tables.
I see you are a very hairy guy. No, and I don't mean that offensive.
I'll go up in flames. I'll go up.
Yeah,
quick.
you will.
My beautiful beard will just be like gone.
I know that would would be singed. You don't want to have that happen. Hey, but you know what? If anybody even in our audience, if you did draw along and you want to share, just let Rick know in the comments, or let me and Rick know. I'll be happy to show it later on. But let's. I wanted to add this to the stream so we can all check this out. So I wanted to go over this because this is the campaign that was so successful here. We had. Not only was it successful, look at this number: 487 backers.
Yeah, man.
I mean. Did you have
wow.
I was thinking
you got a very big family, Andy.
I know. It's like you have a huge family, or your family of wrestlers. I don't know. Maybe you had one of your promoters promote your Kickstarter. I have no idea, but that is amazing. 487. I mean, I look at that number. It's always great to be funded, but to have that many people that believe in you, amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been cultivating an audience over 20 years of making comics, and I'm trying to get in front of other types of people, into some more wrestling sort of circles, and I love to get people that love wrestling into this comic book. I think they'll love it.
Yeah.
Because it's just pure fun. It's kind of like a 90s throwback comic. It's pure fun. It's the stuff I grew up on. Uh-huh. From the time I was old enough to draw, I was drawing Macho Man and Hulk Hogan as much as any superhero stuff or monster stuff. I was drawing wrestlers at the same time.
Well, they're superheroes, right? I mean,
basically, there's not a lot of difference. So I really wanted to sort of channel into that, and I'm trying to get a lot more people involved and on board. And I think what we're doing at Lethal Comics is going to be big, with the three of us creating, and that. The three of us, that'll grow to a bigger number when we get more creators involved and stuff. So it's very exciting that we got that many backers, which was more than our first one.
And both of them were funded. And I think that what is cool about your story is that, when you were told no by the
I was told no by everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said, you know what? I mean, I guess if you had to find some bright spot in the pandemic, it got a lot of creators to like say, you know what? When is the best time to do it? It's now. Let's just get it out there because
Yeah.
and it's amazing. I hear story after story, and this is one of my favorite stories. Just listening, to you telling your your success, having 400, almost 500 backers that believe in it, and it's fun. You don't take yourself too seriously that you got to be
No.
like,
No.
I think that's the thing. It's like it's fun.
I have to be careful because I'm a big I'm very like my humor in comics and my writing is very satirical. And I have to be very careful. So I have like about 10, 15 people go over my scripts when I'm finished just to like check stuff out to be because I'll make jokes that like could push the envelope a little bit and and they're satirical. Like I make fun of everybody.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like one of those things where did I go too far with that joke? I don't know, like so I have to have people read it over and make sure everything's cool, but it is like super fun and it's so funny because I don't think there's anything like it. And like when my other comic book like peers and friends read it, they're like that's like the most you thing ever. I don't know whether that's like an insult or a compliment. I don't know how to take it. You know what I mean?
I mean, with all the numbers of backers, it got to be a compliment.
Yeah, and I have to say, like the first book that we put out, like the actual physical copies of the book were the most gorgeous thing ever. Like we worked with a company in Montreal called Marquis. They used to work with Marvel and DC all the time because Quebecor was up here, so most of the comics were printed right here in Quebec. And these guys just like hit a home run of all home runs as the quality. Like the actual quality of the Mother Trucker comic is for my money better than a Marvel comic.
Of course,
they look freaking gorgeous. Like I'm not saying my artwork, like yes,
no,
I think it's the best artwork I've done.
You're allowed to.
Yeah, like I think I'm doing better artwork than most of the industry. That sounds like super braggy, but it's what's up. Look at this.
Hey, you're allowed to brag. You finished with
I'll heal it up a little,
Yeah.
Like, but no, the actual print job like that the printers did was so high end that when the books came in, Carl, Carey, and I think we just like started drinking. We're like, I can't believe a product looks this good. Like it's crazy.
It's so good. Let's get alcohol.
Yeah, because you can get cheap. Like you can back stuff on Kickstarter and get the books, and the quality isn't like very hot on the printing. But this was like something from another planet, like something from the '90s Image, where you were getting like all kinds of crazy, different, weird, gimmicky covers. It really felt special like that. So
yeah, I have to say that. I mean, I can't wait till I get the book in hand, but the quality, at least just from the digital standpoint, what I see and just what's here, I mean, I just had to like, it just looks so fun. I think that's the thing is that I think in this day and age, everybody is like really high strung and people are like, so like defensive and everybody's kind of like, boxed in just because of the pandemic. And when I see stuff like this, it does harken back to that time. The 90s were a crazy time. The 80s were a crazy time. And I think that you for me, I'm the old person here. It's like I look at the stuff and it just opens the floodgates of memories and you have instant nostalgia. And even though I don't have any of that wrestling connection, I'm going to now.
But you're gonna like that's why the space thing, that's why the truck thing, that's why the way it looks the way it looks is because I'm putting those two things together.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like I can do just a wrestling comic, and it could feel like the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, but I don't think that's fun. I mean, even look at my wrestling character. My wrestling character, it, like on his own, is like.
I don't even think you might have gotten all the backers then if you just done that, because again, wrestling fans, it's just that. So you had to bring something more to it.
Well, yeah, I want to make it fun, and like, when people think of what it's like to be a wrestler, you know what I mean? The most fun a wrestler has is when they're actually in the ring doing the thing.
Yeah.
Besides that, they're in pain a lot of times. They're just working out all the times. Having a wrestler life is tough. It's a lot like a comic book artist life where you're traveling all the time and you don't stay at great hotels all the time. And you don't always get the best food. And I don't want to make it about that. I want to make it about, He-Man and
It just,
Transformers and G.I. Joe. It was on Kickstarter, and
Yep.
now if you want to get the books, you can get issue 1 off
There
lethalcomics.com.
you
You can
go.
order it, and I can mail
Yep.
it to you.
Yep.
But people are actually asking us a lot about maybe just putting it on Indiegogo for a month
Yeah.
for people that missed it.
On demand. Yep.
On demand, yeah. So we
Yeah.
were talking about doing the on-demand thing for people that missed it, and it's because you get a few books. So I might wait until my partner Carrie Nord does his Kickstarter, and we might round up the 3 of them on Indiegogo together.
That's smart.
That way people can
smart.
get like a bundle pack. Like I'm not going to offer all the same things I did on Kickstarter, but it would be like you can just get the books, so you can get issue 2 and stuff like that before whatever. But if you want issue 1, you can buy it on our website so far.
Yeah, so I think that's actually a good note to end on, because I know you got to get out of here. It's already 2:35, so we're
we got 10 minutes. Yeah,
I got 10 minutes. So I want to just because I want you to actually have your we want to talk about the end of the show, which is basically it's called the Oscar speech, where you get to talk a little bit more about your final thoughts, as well as any of your thank yous, and of course the future, like what we can expect from Lethal Comics and from Andy the Animal. When you were talking about, I just couldn't believe it's like you said, yeah, a comic book artist, we're kind of like, our life isn't that glorious. It's a lot like wrestling. And then I was like thinking to myself, okay, you're a comic artist and you're a wrestler. It's like you're like a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
But you're having fun. I think that's
I didn't always go down the road of making like a lot of money. You're right. Like, but I mean, I live my life as an artist, and like a wrestler is kind of an artist. A lot of my trainer Speedball will be like, no, it's nothing like an artist. I'm a athlete, but like, no, it's a performer, and it's sort of like
and it's something you have to do with a passion, because
you have to
there's
be
never
passionate
any
about it. There's no half-assing it. It doesn't
you have
work
to really
if you half-ass it.
have to really want it. Same with artists. Many people say, oh, I want to be an artist, but then when it gets just a little bit tough, to back up or start crying about it. It's the same with wrestling. If you can't handle the pain, mentally or physically, then stop.
The mental pain that I've gone through as an artist is why I can enjoy and handle it as a wrestler. And actually, the wrestling.
Wow.
For me now, at first it was to make this comic, but now wrestling for me is my stress reliever. It's my fight club. I have to wrestle. Like my wife is like, I don't know, but maybe you should go to wrestling early this week because your anxiety is really high.
Yeah, and that is it's so good. I feel like I've been enlightened this show. I really learned a lot, and I knew it was going to be a great show because Andy's art speaks for itself, and it was just a pleasure learning more about the art of wrestling.
Yeah,
and wrestling as an art, which is Mother Trucker. And I encourage everybody.
I just wish we had more time, because we were just getting started nerding out.
Yeah.
Well, we have like another 10 minutes. They're not back yet.
Okay.
So.
No. Let's give you the time to prepare and all that.
Yeah.
And because right now.
Sorry,
go on. No, you're the guest. Go on.
I was gonna say is we have some big stuff coming up from Lethal. When I'm finished up with Mother Trucker 2 and we've mailed it out, there's gonna be Mother Trucker 3. I can't wait for people to see the video on number 3. It's gonna be the wackiest thing you've ever seen. But part 3 is gonna be the biggest Mother Trucker we've done. It's gonna be even bigger than part 2.
That sounds so funny.
Because
the biggest Mother Trucker
straight up,
ever.
it's gonna have toys.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Mother Trucker 3 is gonna have toys.
With nudity. No, wait.
No.
That's what you said. It didn't.
Maybe there'll be a special one. But and then we have an anthology coming out in September that we're all involved with.
Already?
Wow. Everyone is involved with this Kickstarter. So it's like a Lethal Comics group show thing.
Nice.
And
nice.
We actually, I don't think I should be announcing it, but I'll just say it here. And
not an announcement.
We're attached to a film. So we're doing like a heavy metal magazine style science fiction anthology based on the film Psycho Gorman.
Whoa, shoot. This is going to be awesome. You heard it first here on Comics Cast. Fresh news from Andy the Animal here.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Psycho Gorman, like a comic magazine with all the guys in Lethal, as well as like all of our friends in comics. It's going to be some of the biggest, wildest talent in one magazine. It's going to be freaking crazy, and we're working with the guys from the film
I
and
can't
the
freaking wait.
directors and the producers, and it is insane bananas. So if you haven't seen that movie, you should see that movie because it is the craziest thing I've seen since Fury Road.
Watch it and then watch it again.
Yeah, it's the best movie that's come out since Fury Road,
So,
if you ask me.
With all that being said, Andy, the mic will be put up to you right now. The big going away Oscar speech. If you want to say thank you to people and all that, the mic is in your hands, and I will put you up alone, solo layup.
The animal.
Give the promo. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So lethalcomics.com, Andy Belanger on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Come find us. We're gonna be the craziest, biggest comic book company that's gonna hit in a long time. We're going after Marvel. We're going after DC. We're going after Image, and we're making the books we want to make. And I want to thank the guys that helped me at Lethal Comics, which is Carl Kerschel, Kerry Nord, Masao Kobayashi, Sam Noir, Brennan Rowe. All my crew at Lethal Comics is amazing. My wife Sylvia edits all the videos, and she's helps me. Puts up with me being a wrestler and a comic book artist
and an artist. Yeah.
And then of course my wrestling pals, PCP Crazy Manny, Shane Hawk is one of my best buddies ever. We write together, we make wrestling together. He's the best. And then of course my trainer right now, Speedball Mike Bailey, who has an amazing Twitch stream you should go follow. Speedball Mike Bailey on Twitch is amazing. Those are the guys I got to thank. Tato Caballero and Serge Lapointe, the guys, my core team that are on my art. They're I can't do it without them. They're the freaking best. And the stuff we have planned, like the announcements I made today, that's just the tip of the iceberg. We got about 8 contracts coming in here, and Carl, Carey, and I are going to be on our series, Mother Trucker. Carrie's book is coming out next week on Kickstarter. It's called Folklore. It's going to be the most beautiful book you've ever seen. The covers on this book are going to blow your mind by some of the biggest artists in comics. And then hopefully early next year, we're going to get Carl's first book with Lethal Comics called Death Transit Tanager, which is very much, Metroid inspired stuff. It's amazing. And you can read his first 20 pages of it. Thanks, Victor. You can read the first 20 pages of it on his website, and you'll see it on Lethal Comics as well. It's going to be crazy, but we have basically 5 years of the craziest comics planned, and we're doing it ourselves and doing it just for the fans. No publishers, no distributors. We're doing it for you guys. Although we are actively going to be looking for a publisher in Europe. So that's got to happen.
Interesting. I might know a few.
Yeah, whether it's like, Dargo or Glenna or something, and we'll need some guys and some publishers in Italy, because I live in Italy a lot of the time. I'll be back in January, February, and March, back in Italy as long as COVID lets me. I hope to wrestle down there too. That'd be really great.
Oh my God!
Come to Denmark and wrestle.
I'll come to Denmark and wrestle for you, buddy. When I'm in Italy, I'll come up for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Hell yeah! If I'm in Europe, I'll come up and wrestle for you if you have me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said, thank you so much for having us, and I'll give the mic back to Gerald the Rambler. We always finish with a very special advertisement /
Yeah. All right. So
Cool.
So just stay with us, Andy, 1 second. I'm just going to say one thing about a charity partner that we have, and that charity partner is Golden Fight. And you can see their URL there at the bottom. Golden Fight is a special organization, a charity that we're proud to be associated with, but we have no financial ties to. The leadership of this particular charity is friends with my partner in crime, one of the co-founders of Comics Cast, Joe Tolliver. Golden Fight is all about an organization I like to call is big enough and small enough at the same time. Small enough in the sense that they are not nationwide. They have a very focused approach. They operate in my neck of the woods, which is the Northern Virginia or Virginia, Maryland, DC area. But their mission is where they're really huge at, is that they are help families who have children that are dealing with terminal illnesses like cancer. And when families are or parents are helping or focusing on the healing of their child, inevitably they will have financial difficulties, and that's where Golden Fight comes in. And they can proudly say that 100%. I thought it was like 98 to 97%, but I think I read on their website it's 100%. So whatever money they do raise, it goes strictly to the families. So the organizers, the founders of Golden Fight, they do this on a volunteer basis. They take no money from this. The satisfaction they get is in helping these families focus on healing their child. So if you want to check out a worthy charity, this is one. Again, we are not financially tied to them, but we just want to get the word out about it. So check out Golden Fight, and also let's remove this from the stream and let's get this back up here. Also, we want to check out our guest. We got a treat. You got educated on wrestling. You
did?
Well, I think our audience all didn't quite grasp the finer points of wrestling and the fact that how closely it's tied to comics and independent comics. And I can tell you, Andy, just hearing your story, it's a victory. I mean, it's just a sweet victory to hear what you're doing. When I hear you even put down the gauntlet, you sort of said, "We're coming after you, Marvel. We're coming after you, DC." I always like to think of myself, it's like they're gonna regret that they didn't pick up Mother Trucker, because I think Mother Trucker and Lethal Comics in general, all the titles that are coming out underneath it, I was looking at it. I'm a big fan of all the artists that are part of your crew, and it's phenomenal. You guys are gonna make waves. You're gonna kill it. I guess because you're lethal, you're gonna kill it.
Exactly.
You're gonna kill it.
Yeah.
And it's good. I expect to hear big things. Well, I'm already hearing big things in 2021. It's gonna be even bigger in 2022. I'm waiting. I'm gonna get my toy whenever Mother Trucker 3 comes out.
I'm gonna get the Rick Special toy.
I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait.
We'll see about that. But I have to say that it's been a highlight for me this year to meet you and to actually feature you here on Comics Cast. And I can't say enough about how much it makes me feel so good inside knowing that you're making it happen. You're getting it done in 2021. You're not waiting on anybody. You're following your passions. You got support of your family. You got support of your friends, your crew. You formed your own studio. You had a successful Kickstarter, 2 successful Kickstarters. I mean,
the fans following Mother Trucker and Lethal on Kickstarter are the best.
Yeah,
they freaking rule.
Yeah. It's amazing, and I'm hoping I can go up to Canada. I don't know if you're going to come up to DC. I mean, not
sure.
You can come to DC. I don't know if you're going to wrestle around the DC area. You let me know.
Please, if you ever meet him, Andy, please kendo stick him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no
Full
Lego.
on kendo stick him.
Kendo
Yeah.
stick, no
Hey,
Lego.
Gerald.
Yeah. Pull the Undertaker behind AJ Styles, like
Yeah.
kendo stick him.
That's right.
Yeah.
All righty. So
We're gonna let you go now.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna end the show right now, and I just want everybody to know that follow Andy, follow Lethal Comics. There's the URL. It's in the comment field. There's gonna be some big news, and the door is always open to you, Andy. Whenever you're ready to launch that new Kickstarter, anybody from Lethal Comics, you just let us know. We'll do our part to help promote you. And we're a part of your wrestling fan base now, your comic fan base.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, you guys should get Carrie on here.
Yes.
Oh, we would love that. I was actually
talk to
waiting.
him.
I was gonna wait until we were live to start asking about that, because I would love to have Carrie. He's one of my favorite artists.
I'm going to. I follow him too, and I got a little inside track. I'm actually talking to Sam Noir, who got me Andy. And he sort of said, when I talked to him, he said, "Well, talk to Andy, because Andy and Carrie are like buds. They're studio mates." So I'll let you. We'll do some little introductions, but we'll get to them in there. And let's say happy birthday to your daughter. Yeah,
it's time to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Happy birthday. We'll see you next week. Andy, thank you. Comics Cast.
Thank you.
Take us out.
Right on, guys.